it's heavy to carry those things like by yourself, and sharing with other people helps a lot because we are all in this together.
Welcome to Season 2 of the Paper Talk podcast, where we have candid conversations with artists and industry leaders from around the world. Our goal is to share knowledge, connect our community, and elevate the artistry of our craft. Hi, I'm Jessie Chu.
Hello, I am Quinn Nguyen, and we are the founders of the Paper Florist Collective.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Paper Talk. On today's episode, we have Anna Chedid here on the line with us. Anna, I probably totally butchered your last name, so please correct me.
Hi, Anna.
Hi, how are you girls doing?
Oh, it's so good to see your face, to be honest. Yeah. But how do you pronounce your last name?
Well, to be honest, we pronounce Chedid in Portuguese, which I think is totally wrong because it's a Lebanese last name. So I'm probably butchering it too. So. But here in the US, the most common, they say like Chedid, which is not bad, which I can't like, okay. Chedid is okay.
It's not that bad.
I should change it. I should use my other name like Silva. Silva is so much more easier to understand, but wow.
Everybody knows you by this name.
Yeah. I mean,
don't change. Just accept it. This is who I am.
Let's just word it and that's it.
It's like I know who you're referring to.
Yes.
That's so funny though. I mean, you talk about it being Lebanese, but you're originally from Brazil.
Yeah, but there's a lot of like Lebanese people in Brazil. So it's not like it's something big. It's from my father's side of the family. So they didn't teach us like to speak the language, for example. So we have just the last name and we learn a bunch of like dishes from Lebanon.
I love Lebanese food.
Which is a good thing, but I don't speak Arabic and I don't understand anything. It makes me feel like a little bit ashamed. But that's life. What can I do? Portuguese is hard enough to learn. So
yes, exactly.
Oh my gosh. I seriously remember the first time I met you in person, Anna, when you came to Seattle, and we had such a blast. I was so thrilled to actually meet you in person and to find you are even more amazing in person than you are on Instagram. Jessie, you have to meet her in person. We have to all get together.
We have to all get together for sure.
We're allowed to travel.
Yes. I don't know when that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, right now we should just like make plans for the future, but not be very anxious about when it's going to happen because it's going to take a while.
Yeah,
it's such a moving target.
I know. Yep. Our governor keeps moving our opening date further along, which I completely understand. I know a lot of people are anxious because I have a lot of friends in the wedding industry and weddings keeps getting bumped out and literally they're not making any money, like all the weddings, because it's pretty much wedding season right now for a lot of people in Seattle, and we can't hold any weddings.
Yeah, it's summer. Summer is wedding season. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, I forgot about it. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's been really like I listen to their stories and I feel so hurt for them because not only have they to deal with deposits because there's regulations for that now. Like if you are impacted by, COVID, you have to refund unless you have some sort of really good contract at that point.
Oh, wow.
And so a lot of brides and grooms are asking for money back and they don't really understand that this is their livelihood. Like you chose the wedding planner or you chose the florist or you chose the vendor because you trust and you want to use them. But I know everyone's hurt. I mean, people are losing jobs, going on unemployment, but it's all about sharing this burden of going through this whole epidemic together and being understanding because you don't know everyone's story. You don't know how they're living their life or how they're struggling. And I think it's important to have open communication, understand why, I can't accept your deposit because I've already paid my rent or things like that. It's just so important to understand what's going on.
Yeah, we cannot be selfish right now. We need to think as like global citizens right now. We cannot think exactly like locally anymore.
Yeah.
Because everybody is affected.
Everyone.
Everyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we need to put ourselves in another person's shoes.
Mm-hmm. And really, it's not just about us, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's
actually
not.
about
It
like,
is
other people, you know? Yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, you feel, you know, you, I think it's naive to say like, oh, I feel perfectly healthy. Why won't you, you know, talk to me within like, I don't know, like 2 feet? It's not about you feeling healthy. It's about the health of the other person.
Yep.
Like, I think that's what some people are missing is that you might feel comfortable. You might be comfortable with, I don't know, hugging other people, but other people might not be because they may have some pre-existing conditions that make them more vulnerable to any kind of viruses, whether it is actually COVID-19 or something else.
Yes.
Or, you know, they might have relatives who themselves have immune deficiency issues. Like you don't know, like you said, like you can't judge them. You don't know what their reasons are for standing, you know, 6 feet away. It's not you, you know, it's don't take it personally. It's really
it's about everybody else.
Yes, exactly.
It's not just about you.
Exactly.
It is about you, but also about everybody else.
Yeah.
So we need to think collectively. Like,
collectively, yes. That's a good word.
Yeah. And I think we also need to remember that this COVID is, you don't know if you have it. You might be a carrier.
You don't know.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you might pass it on to someone else, even though you've been in quarantine yourself. But, you know, everyone's been outside. Everyone has gone to the store. You don't know what you've caught and you brought home.
You can't know for sure.
Yeah.
You can't. We just can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the scary part is that you could be a carrier and you don't know. But, and also some people suffer from more serious symptoms than others. And, you know, at the beginning, people were saying, oh, you know, you're young, you're going to be fine. It's just going to be mild symptoms. You don't know. And I think that's the thing with this virus.
It's going to affect like everybody.
Yeah, that's the thing, you know, and I think it's naive to think that it won't affect you or won't affect somebody you know, or that it won't affect you to the point where you have to be hospitalized.
Exactly.
I mean, why take that risk, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think interestingly, I mean, I know you were talking about like trying to maintain some sort of regular routine at home so that it gives
important.
you some purpose and some meaning, I think, outside of all that craziness outside. Yeah, I think that's really important.
It's really important. You have to maintain a little bit of like normality, I guess, a little bit of like something you can grab and say, okay, it's going to be fine. It's just a phase. It's going to take a little bit longer than I expected. It's going to be fine. Let's do it.
Yeah. So what do you do in your routine that is like normalizing your life right now?
Oh, every morning I grab a cup of coffee. Bruno, my husband, he brews some coffee for us every morning. And he has his rituals that I don't know. Sometimes he's just like meditating or reading something very quiet in his space, and I respect. And then I have the cats. I try to play with the cats in the morning when they have like a lot of energy. So they like keep me grounded and keep them grounded too. Otherwise, they're just like little demons in the house. So no. So I try to play with them, and then they get like exhausted and they lost the interest. Then I go do my things. And every Friday, I was telling Jess that every Friday I clean the entire house. But I do that like for years. I've been doing that for years. I do the laundry, I clean the house, like the bathroom, the kitchen, I mean, everything. And I change the sheet. It's like pressing reset button. And while I'm doing that, I don't pay attention to anything other than doing that. I don't grab my phone unless I'm listening to music.
That's so important.
Yeah. Music helps because sometimes I don't want to clean the house. I'm like, oh, I have to do it again.
Did I just do it last week?
Oh my God, why it can't keep it clean? Like, why it doesn't clean itself without me having to do it? But anyway, it's like once I start it, it flows and it goes. It's cool. And when I stop it and when I finish everything, I look and like, oh my God, it's so clean. It's so good. It's so good. I'm exhausted, but it's so good. And then I rearrange my desk every time before I go to bed. I try to keep everything in place. So when I wake up in the morning, everything is like arranged in a way that I like it, that I like.
Can you come to my house and clean for me?
I can do that. Don't give me ideas. I love to tidy and to clean and to, oh my God, it's a thing that I really like to do.
Yeah.
It sounds weird, but I like it. I really like it. My mom would be proud.
I love that. Oh my
It's probably
God.
therapeutic for you.
It's like, I mean, it's the little things that keeps you grounded.
Yeah.
And especially now that we are like inside our homes, like all the time. So having a time in the day to just to tie everything up, it's important.
Yeah.
It's your home. It's your space.
Yep.
Keep it clean. Keep it organized, people.
Okay, after this, I'm totally cleaning.
Deep clean.
I mean, I have like high standards, so it's too much. Don't feel pressured. Just
You're on my shoulder now saying,
no,
organized, clean.
Get on. I'm too much. When Bruno met me the first time we were together, and he went out to work and I stayed at his place and I cleaned the entire place. And when he went back home, he was like, "Did you paint the doors?" And I'm like, "No, I just cleaned it." Apartments in Brazil often they have like white doors. They paint everything white, which I like it. But you have to like keep cleaning all the time because you have like the grease on your hands start to. So you have to clean like often. Yes. And Bruno was like, "Did you paint the doors?" And I'm like, "No, I just clean it." And he was like, "Oh, okay. You clean too much.
You're special."
Too much. And I'm like, "Do you think?"
But I have a problem, so I hate water spot. And my husband.
Oh my God, water spots.
I know. I have to I'm constantly wiping. My husband doesn't care. He's like, does the dishes and water puddle everywhere.
Oh no.
I'm like running after him, like wiping it. That's like, why do you do? He's like, do you not see the water spot? The water everywhere.
Yeah. I
the air will dry it. I'm like, no, you don't understand.
I am the same. I'm the same with Bruno. And he's like, what are you talking about? It's perfectly clean. Yeah. I'm like, no.
Yes, I'm waving my finger to him too. It's like, no. And so now I just bite my tongue and just wipe after him and just say, just let me do my thing.
I don't like yell at him anymore. I just go there and do the thing.
Yes.
Just don't I mean, it's pointless.
It's pointless. How many times you tell them it's pointless? It's like,
pointless.
It's so hard to change them at this age.
Yes.
I know.
So when you marry them, it comes with it. You can't expect to change them.
Well, they can improve a little.
Improve, yes.
Yeah.
Improve a little.
But you cannot have higher expectations about no, just don't.
Yes,
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
So true.
I guess cleaning just gives you a sense of control, during this time.
It does. Totally. Oh my God. Yeah.
At least I can keep this clean if I can't keep the outside world clean.
If I can keep things clean and organized and tied, I can sleep well. It's like, I think you just have to find something that makes you feel good inside the house. I do that, I'm going to feel great.
Yep.
For example, yesterday I was having trouble concentrating. I was not focusing in anything. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to bake a cake. I just do it.
Yep.
And after I did it, and then the whole thing, I was like, okay, now I feel fine. Now let's try again. Let's try to do something.
Yes. I've been on the same boat. I've been baking so much. Clearly, all my neighbors have tried my bread. My friends, I actually now do deliveries. I'll text them the bread just came out of the oven. I give them instructions wait a little bit, because if you cut the bread too soon, it gets gummy inside. Yeah. So if your bread comes out gummy, you didn't let it cool enough. So let it cool completely, and then you can slice it and it'll be delicious. So I give them the instructions I'll be there in 10 minutes. Make sure you grab it.
Oh my God, lucky neighbors.
I know.
Lucky neighbors.
I wish I lived near Quinn so I could have great bread to eat every single day and smell it.
Oh,
God.
The smell of baking bread is the best. It makes me so happy. I don't have
delicious.
to eat it. Yeah. With like warm butter melting and oozing. Oh, and our favorite thing right now is Nutella. So I brought a big thing.
Oh my God. Great. Come on.
But it was so good. My husband's like, why don't we buy Nutella more often? Like,
because it's dangerous. Because it's dangerous. And I love you. That's why.
So good. I think that's why everyone is baking so much. It just to smell it, you get to touch it, you get to like work your anger because you have to like move it.
Work your anger.
That's true. That's true. That's totally true.
I love it. And you have to take care of something because if you have a sourdough starter, you have to maintain it and take care. And it's a little things. You don't have to do much. It just takes.
Did you name your sourdough starter? Did you put a name on it?
You know, I tried.
You should put a name on it, please.
I know. Help me think of a name. I've actually.
Oh my God, I should put a name on it.
I know. I thought about it, and I'm one of those weird people that I'm not a very good namer. Like I had a teddy bear, I called it Teddy. My dog is yellow and was fat. I called it Butter.
That's creative. Come on, that's creative. Come on.
So I was thinking calling it Bubbles because it's super happy.
Oh, that's awesome.
All right. My starter name is Bubbles, everybody.
Bubbles.
Bubbles has given lots of children. I've shared my bubbles with other friends. They wanted to do.
That's amazing.
But it's so interesting. So I started teaching my friends how to do it. And it's a learning curve because I don't know if you guys make bread, but it's very...
Bruno does. Bruno is a bread maker.
You know,
I tried.
The character changes so much. Like you have to be aware of so many different factors from temperature, the water. There could be chlorine in it. Do you use filter water? Do you like take care of it? And it's like so much like, oh, is it hot? Is it cold? Do you put it in the fridge? Do you take it out? Do you put it in the garage? Like all these different temperature factors is such a huge thing. And
it's a pet, people.
It's a pet.
It's a pet. You have to take care of it like a pet. You have to care for it.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have to feed it. You have to discard its poop. So that's another component.
Yes.
You have to give it friends.
It's alive. It's a live thing. It's alive.
I think that's, a lot of people are like jumping on the sourdough bandwagon with this lockdown. I guess it's like comfort food. And then like you said, it's like a pet. It's like something you care for, something that probably grows on you too.
It grows on you.
That's what I've been reading. Yeah. Everyone's like into this baking mode and well, also because yeast is sold out. So you can't go the easy way. You have to go like you really got to grow it, and nurture it. And like,
exactly.
I guess it becomes so much more meaningful too. Now I failed. I cannot. I tried. Well, no, the first bread was good. I showed you.
Yeah, it was amazing.
It was kind of getting there. And then I don't know what happened. I think it got cold over here. And then like, I don't know, like I don't think too hard about it. Maybe that's a problem. Or maybe I think too hard about it. I don't know. And then like, I can't keep up. Like I've got my kid. Yeah, I've got like my kids running around. Well, one kid running around, the other one. And I was like, So yeah, I kind of gave up. Although
Bruno had a problem like doing that back in Brazil because it was too hot.
Yeah.
So it was way more harder. Like it was like almost impossible to keep the pet. To keep it Bubbles alive.
Yeah.
It was like harder. But here he's happy with his Bubbles. Dude, I love the name. Sorry.
I love it too. You took it.
Oh my God.
Did he name it?
Yeah, did he name it?
I don't think he named it.
Oh, well, just ask Bruno.
I can name it. I can put like a name on it.
I love it. I'm going to share Bubbles on Instagram later today.
Oh my God, do it. Oh man. Yeah. I think this is one of the good things of like this COVID thing. People were like valuing things they didn't before. Like making bread, like make your own food, like teaching their kids because there is no school. So they're trying to teach their kids.
And also appreciating the teacher more.
Oh yeah. I bet they are. For sure.
Yes. I had so many of my friends' mom that talked about like, how are the teacher able to manage this day in and day out with
like
not only
many of them.
Yes.
Not just
more.
1, 2, 3, 20 of them. A whole bunch of them.
Exactly. Exactly. My hat's off to them. It's amazing.
Well, that's why we have trained teachers to teach our kids.
Yeah.
So moms out there, like, don't feel so like
You were not
pressured.
trained for this.
Yeah, to like, because usually you're probably working full time too, or trying to work full time from home and teach your child through online work. That just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Like, how do you divide your time? You're not going to be doing full time either things, right? So like, don't be so hard on yourself. Teachers are paid, they're trained while you're like not at all. And the other thing too, like, you notice your kids generally will listen to their teachers more than their parents. Like, I don't know how you guys homeschool at all. Like, my son would be like, but teacher, he's like cross-legged. He's like, so like good in front of them. And, they act differently. They know the difference.
Yeah.
So
they do.
Yes.
Double burden there.
Yeah.
Oh,
God.
funny.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I love this conversation today. A little bit loose, a little bit kind of like just chatting with friends.
Well, we kind of need it.
Yeah.
We kind of need it to be like that. I mean, there's so much pressure right now.
Yeah. But like you said, Anna, I think it's wonderful. Like, the fallout of this on the positive side is I think people are really reflecting on what is important in their lives and realizing that there's so much they don't need, which sounds bad because after the end of this, there's a lot of things that they're not going to need. They realize that a lot of the excess they had in life didn't necessarily make them happy.
Nope.
And like spending time, like, yes, it sucks sometimes to spend all of your time indoors with your family. But at the same time, like, if you're healthy and your family's healthy, like, you're having fun, like, when else in your lifetime will you ever be able to spend so much time with your family without really a lot of pressure of either going to work or doing other things or running around and
getting busy.
Right? Like you said, I think it is people are prioritizing different things.
For sure.
And I think it's important that we take advantage of it while we can.
Yeah, we are lucky to have like a place to stay indoor, to stay safe. You know, so it's a privilege. It's a privilege.
Absolutely.
It really is.
Yeah. So we should think twice when we want to yell to someone in our family, just because, okay, let's just breathe in, exhale, think twice, and like, okay.
Or just put your hand and says, don't talk to me right now. Don't talk to me right now.
Don't talk to me right now.
Just shh.
Shush. Shush.
I've done that.
Dude, I've done that so many times. Like, Bruno might have done that more often because I am the one who talks a lot. Bruno's like very quiet. Yeah. It's easier. I got lucky. I have a very quiet person with me. I got lucky.
You guys balance each other out.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah.
I think it's so funny. A lot of people have been joking. So either there's going to be a lot of babies being born or a lot of divorces after this.
That is true.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Bruno and I, we've been working together from home since 2013, basically, back in Brazil. And then we moved to the US in 2018. And so we are used to share a space. And we have like a good relationship about like working and living at the same place.
Yes.
Yeah. It's not an easy thing, but you get used to it and you get to respect each other's like space, personal space, or like.
Yeah, that's so important.
It's
I
important.
think talking to each other, saying, hey, I have a meeting on a certain day. It's the only thing I'm asking you. Just be a little bit more quiet, or can you move your meeting to another place?
This is important to do, to establish those like limits, boundaries.
Yes.
And like, okay, this is your turn. Now it's my turn.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's be cool with each other.
Yes.
We are totally capable of doing this. We are adults.
It's such a juggling act.
It really
for sure.
is.
Like my husband and I share like you can share a calendar, like a Google calendar, and then you can just put in your appointments, which I do, but my husband doesn't.
Yeah. Bruno does that. Yeah.
I mean, why don't you put your appointments in there?
Yes.
Like, so that, why do you have to tell me? Like, so I can take a look and I can work around it. When we have a shared Google account, that's what it's for. To share our family schedule. So everyone can see it.
Let me tell you a secret. So if you have something that comes up and you don't tell him what's going on, it says it's in the calendar and walk away. You keep doing
That's what
that.
Bruno does with me. He's like, it's in the calendar, and he walks away. And okay. Yeah, well, you're right. Okay, fine.
Oh man, I gotta try that.
Let's try that. It really does. Right. It takes a couple of times, but they get the hit right away.
Yeah, it takes a couple of times, but I've learned it. It's possible.
It's possible. Well, the thing
God.
with me is like, really the reason why I need to know his is because I need to figure out, like, obviously us, you, Quinn, and me, and like doing our work and our podcast and stuff. And then, but then, I have to figure out what to do with Tristan and with the baby. And so if I don't know, then I don't know. I don't know if it's not a woman thing, because Anna clearly no. But I was going to say, like,
it might be his zodiac sign. I mean, I'm a Libra, so I'm constantly like thinking too much and acting too little. So it might be that.
We're actually both Aries. So I don't.
Oh my God, you're both Aries.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I don't know what that means.
Bruno is an Aries.
I'm like, why aren't you
Leo?
See, the thing is, like, yeah, because I have to like manage not just him and me. It's like these kids too. And so I feel like I have to tell him every time, especially if I have like evening calls, because those are rare, right? And those are like not often. And that's when everything happens. So I feel like I have to remind him and tell him this. So like when he has calls at 7, he doesn't tell, like, it's not in the calendar. He just tells me like, oh yeah, you're going to have to cook because I have a meeting at 7. I'm like, what just happened? Like, I need to plan around that.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't just pull that on me. Like, you knew, why isn't it in the calendar? At least then I can be like, okay, I gotta like, it's also a mind game where it's like you're what do you call it? You're prepared.
Yes.
You're like mentally prepared.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you hate that it's like 7 or 8 or 9 in the evening, you're like mentally prepared to like deal with it.
Exactly.
But if you like just like pop
Spring
that
it
on me like last minute, I'm like,
what's so annoying?
Yeah, but Bruno gets pretty upset when I do that. Like, and I'm like, so, I learned along the years that I cannot do that. Like, no.
Oh man, it's something I think I have to train him. I don't know how many times I remind him. He'll be like, I have appointments from 2 to 4. And I'd be like, where is it on the calendar? Like, it's obviously in one of your calendars or else you wouldn't remember. Why isn't it in ours? Oh my gosh.
I know. It takes a while. Don't give up, please. Yeah. Don't give up.
Don't give up. Keep doing it.
Don't give up.
101, I'm working with someone of the same household.
Don't give up. But there is a way. There is a way. It takes time.
I won't give up. I don't think I can give up.
No, there's no other option.
There's no, exactly.
There's no other options.
Especially now.
Well, yeah, that's the difference. Before it was just like, whatever from morning until 5 or 6. I know he's at work. I don't need to know what his schedule is. But now it's like, no, I do.
Yeah, and now you need to.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
I know. Everyone's expectation is so different now compared to what you planned starting the year. It's like, oh, we were going to do this workshop. We're going to do this and that. And now
Which
it's
is
just
exactly what happened. Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And so
like total change of
we
gears.
could do those things, but we have to like adapt it to an online platform. And we have to like rearrange a lot of things in order to do that. But yeah, it's kind of a bummer. Like, I
know. Oh my goodness.
So many plans. And now we have summer and we're not going to enjoy summer as we would like to. So, oh my God.
Well, you live in a condo, right?
Yeah, I live in a condo and there is a like large area. There's a pool. There's so many good things that I'm looking at. I can
you have no access to.
Like, this is sad.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
This is sad.
I have some friends who are I have one friend who lived in a condo in downtown Toronto, and she ended up moving back to live with her parents during this lockdown, just because it's so difficult to kind of navigate the condo rules, and like they had rules about elevators, like one person in. Yeah. And she's a little preschooler, so she's I think 2.5 or so. So like a little girl as well, and just being cooped in the house, it was just like it wasn't healthy for the little girl. So moving back with her parents was a lot better in a big house, but I just can't imagine. She said it was tough. like, because it's so dense, right?
Yeah.
So pretty much everywhere there's people. And then walking outside, you were limited in terms of, where to walk. I think now they're trying to implement like, oh, if you're on this side of the sidewalk, you have to walk one direction. And then the other sidewalk, you have to walk another direction. Yeah. Just to like navigate, because I guess people aren't sure how to act. Some people are like, you got to stay like 6 feet away. Some people are like, is that rude to do that? Like, I don't want to imply that you're
like
sick.
Lost.
Yes. Yeah. And that's like, how do you fit?
Yeah.
How should I act?
I know.
What should I do?
I see that in the grocery store where there's signs where you have to go one way in grocery aisles, but you see people going the opposite and they're like, wait, I'm here first. And they just like start coming at you like, what do you do? Do you back up?
Do you back up?
It's weird.
What does that imply?
It's weird. It's very
really
weird. Yeah. It's like, oh my God.
Yes.
It's complicated. It's like you have to think on your grocery list, the things you have to buy, and then you have to be aware of all the other people around you. Oh my God, it's so overwhelming.
It is.
Well, I've been trying to explain to my son that we can't go outside and like play in the playground. The other day he was like, oh, there's some people outside. I'm like, yeah, you can go outside, but we just can't go outside when like other kids are around, because the problem is when there are other kids around and he hears them, he's like, oh, I want to play with my friends. And then we'd be like, no, you can't go outside. And he'd be like, but they're outside. How come I can't go outside? And like explaining to him that like the difference, it's not that you can't go outside. It's just you can't interact with other kids the same way that you used to. And he loves playing tag. So the first thing I'm sure he would do is like, like touch the other child.
Yeah.
Like trying to explain that to kids sometimes it's difficult, but I have to say they adapt a lot faster than you think they would.
Yeah.
Once he realized that, okay, we can't go outside, he just kind of accepted it and we kind of like adapted it. But no, going outside is good for us. We need that fresh air. It's beautiful outside. I'm lucky I have a small garden. Yeah. And so like getting him outside, it's interesting. We live in a townhouse. So we have like an area that's shared. And right now, nobody goes outside when they see other people. You always see only one. We used to congregate and like chit chat and stuff, and you could hear it, right? You could hear people outside talking. Now it's like silent. It's like my son's like running around screaming his head off, and probably people are like, "Good, it's good you're screaming your head off because I shouldn't go out."
I wish I could do that.
Like, that's the way, kid. That's the way you do it, kid.
Yeah.
Doing fine.
Like, yeah, you're fine. Yeah.
Yes,
doing fine.
But it's like it's such a weird kind of time.
It's a weird kind of time.
So when you can go out, you can bike, but like, when you're on the sidewalk, you've got to wait for other people to pass, or I think it's so weird.
It's very
lucky
lonely.
that we live in the suburbs, so it's not
very lonely. Like
it is lonely. It's such a lonely experience. Like people will smile at him and be like, hi, but they're like super far away and they do it on purpose. And I don't think he really understands why. Yeah. I mean, what are you going to do? Right. Like we have to respect that they might be concerned too that he's a carrier. Yeah, it's easier in the suburbs though. Not nearly as packed.
Well, I'm not living in San Francisco anymore. I moved to a small town like near San Francisco because Bruno changed like jobs. He got like hired by another company. So now we are living in a small city. So it's not that dense anymore. So I get it. What you're saying is like, I think I would be freaking out if I were in San Francisco right now. Like, oh my God.
I've heard it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
any big city, really.
Oh God.
I know. So depressing. It like suddenly spiraled downward.
It happens. It happens.
Real life.
Yep.
Everyone can relate, I guess. We're not really saying anything that's unrelatable.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah. I've been seeing like a lot of people, and also a lot of my friends are also like artists and designers. They're like inside their homes and they're trying to be like more productive and stuff. And I'm like, don't pressure yourself. Don't do that. Like just keep going, keep flowing. Just don't pressure. Like take your time, read a book, listen to some music.
Absolutely.
Music has become so important.
Yeah.
Like take advantage of this downtime where like people are not breathing down your neck for deadlines.
Yes.
That's never going to happen again.
Yes, that's going to happen again.
Like you can feel like good knowing that, okay, I can kind of like take a break a little bit because no one's going to be like following up with me on orders and stuff, or like the expectation is not the same anymore.
Yeah.
It's not. And I understand people get like a little bit lost with that because they are used to have someone breathe their necks because of the bloodline. But when I moved to the US, I I closed my business in Brazil. So I didn't have anyone asking me to do anything anymore. I didn't have like deadlines. And for a while, I got lost. I was like, what should I do? What's going on? What's happening now?
Here, let me tell you, you get a
much
Quinn.
Time.
You get a Quinn in your life, and then she'll tell you.
Yeah. Pretty much.
I did with Jessie. I was like, Jessie, we can't do our workshop. What are we going to do? A whole bunch of ideas comes like, and then we started working so much more. And the day
it was supposed to be like,
I know,
finding inspiration from something that we had been working on before.
Yeah.
But then it turned into like this big, like, I mean, granted, I did make some suggestions that made it a little bit bigger.
But we kind of like prodded each other. It's like, we need to do this. And then we need to do that. And suddenly it became this huge project. And I have to admit, I was so grateful for that because it really got me, but it made me like into a more of a workaholic than I was before because there's so much. And I was finding that the days and the time just blurred and there was no more time of, oh, we got to stop for dinner because my husband's going to be home. It was like he was working too. And my husband is a true workaholic. Like he's so focused. And so he's influencing me in a lot of ways on that part. But I think I was already a workaholic. So it just made it even worse. But I have to admit, it was like there was moments where I was like, I just need a break. And it was just like so great to like do nothing and fall into TikTok like heavily. Where I clearly just like mind numb. It was like a nice break because I didn't have to think about what I was doing. It was just me just scrolling through, watching funny videos of people dancing. But it was really great and very like stress relieving. It's like,
relaxing.
So relaxing. And listening to great music. I think that's one thing I love about TikTok is you can listen to really good music as people are doing, even though they're dancing really badly, the music's great. So I'm like, okay, that's great.
Well, yeah, I mean, you have to have like moments where you just stop and rest.
You have to.
And not feel guilty about it. I think we often feel guilty about it.
Because your brain needs to relax, needs to reset. So you need to slow down.
Yeah.
It's a very important thing to do, slow down.
Yeah.
But I mean, I admire Queen because she's always like, let's do it. Let's like, come on. I mean, sometimes I'm like, okay, it's too much. I can't like too much. Oh man, no, not for me. Sorry, not for me. I can't.
Jessie's great. She'll say no, Quinn.
I'd be like, well, because I rarely say no. And when I'm like, when I can't do it, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Like, I can't do it.
I appreciate that so much.
Yeah, and I have problems and say like, no, I keep going till I'm like so exhausted. Then I'm like either crying or either not focusing in anything.
Oh no.
And I'm like, I need to have boundaries.
Yes.
You know? So no, I've learned to not say yes to everything along the years.
That's good. That's so important to understand where your boundary is. Say, okay, I had enough. I can't do anymore.
I can't. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. It's hard. I know it is. It's really hard. I think I was going to say as women, as mothers, as wives, as like you, it just comes naturally that you
play
have
so
those
many
responsibilities
all the time.
Yeah.
It's like you were born to it, but no, I'm as human as the male part of
For
my
sure.
Yeah. So no.
You only have so much capacity, right?
Yeah.
And so it's so hard for us to it's almost like we have to learn how to say no because at the same time we don't want to like offend the other person or we don't want it to look like we're incapable of doing something. So like how do you say no so that you in a way in the end it's really self-preservation, right? You got to make sure that you're not stressed out and like going to break down or cry. And say it in a way or deliver it in a way that is at the same time like the other person understands and they're not thinking you're flaking on them. It's this honestly, just me hearing me say that, it's such a woman thing.
It is.
Men do not think about this. Men's just like yes or no. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Females are like overthinking, like, oh, how do I not hurt her feelings, or not make it look like I'm like totally incapable, or like, you know, like we expect so much from ourselves.
Yeah.
That, like it's so much.
Say that. Like overthinking it.
Yes.
God.
And I have a funny story actually. Like my brother, he's an engineer, he's a programmer, and he does not understand what I do exactly.
I can see that.
And for him, I'm just an artist, and he has a concept that an artist like doesn't work, doesn't do anything, just like create things out of nowhere, out of nothing. And he's like, "Oh, but you were doing nothing in the US. You're like a trophy wife. Your husband has all the money. You don't make money. You don't have income. You're like living the best life ever." And I'm like, dude, I've been creating content for almost 2 years, like nonstop.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
Yes. I love that. Have you seen this? What I've done?
I have a bunch of people that have seen it. Like I have a bunch of numbers that like can attest to it. And then a cousin of mine, like he's a guy, and he's like, dude, it's your sister. Have a little bit more respect because she's your sister. It's not because she's an artist. She's your sister. I mean,
I love your cousin.
It's something like it's weird. And this cousin of mine, I did not expect him to come forward and like to like defend myself like that. Like I was like, oh, this is new. This is good.
Yes, very good. Something in his life.
Yes, very good.
But yeah, it's hard. I mean, most people think we are just artists. We don't have like worries about anything, about money, or like we create things out of nowhere, and that's not true.
That's not.
Totally not true.
Yeah.
We juggle, as Jessica was saying, like we juggle like so many
roles. Yes, so many. I'm being a supporter, a leader, a communicator, a friend, like an advocate. So many different roles.
Yeah,
and then you still have to cook for your family at the end.
And clean.
And clean. Oh my God.
Well, I mean, you still do a lot of the bulk of that. And people, I remember reading something about the fact that it really is like the multitasking thing. We're trained for it. It's not necessarily that it comes naturally. Some people are like really scatterbrained, but there's a societal expectation that women take on so many things. So like, that's why our brains are working all the time, because we're thinking about what we have to do tonight, or what we have to buy, what we have to do, where we have to bring our kids. Meanwhile, most men might be working their 9 to 5, whatever jobs, and all they focus on is that. And they come home and they watch TV, or maybe they cook, but they don't have that stuff in the back of their mind, like that list on the back of their mind. They don't have that. And that is so time consuming, and it can like suck you in and like literally take all of your time. I think that's what we have to kind of let go and be like, we don't need to have all these lists. Like we don't have to do all this stuff.
No, we don't.
Like write it down, send it over to, whoever else to do it, and not have such high expectations about ourselves. Like the whole guilt thing where, I'm taking a weekend off. Oh, it's so great. But at the same time, I feel guilty I'm not working, or I feel guilty I'm not doing something else. Like that's such a typical
you lost your capacity to relax.
Like so I think we have to learn to kind of let ourselves, somebody was telling me about this, like kind of let ourselves just not hold ourselves to that kind of standard, because we'll never live up to that, and be like more forgiving on us. We need to,
especially right now.
Right. No, exactly.
Yeah.
Especially right now.
Yeah.
Like with our lives turned upside down, like especially right now, if you're not bringing income, like don't be so hard on yourself. So are like 90% of this, like in the United States, they're not bringing the same income home.
Oh man, here we go again.
I know. I would say how to handle that. How do you get all these lists out of your head? I think one thing I do, I'll share, is I I'm a list person. I like to list things out. If I can visually see it, it's not heavy on my head. I'm constantly reminding myself. I have a list. I see it. I can free my head space up. So that way I can like check it off. It's so satisfying. Like
satisfying. For sure. Yeah. I've learned that from Bruno. I do like lists and everywhere actually, on the computer, on my phone.
Yes.
Sometimes on the refrigerator. I have
a little whiteboard. I have that too.
Whiteboard, yeah. And sometimes I have like some stick notes, like sticker notes everywhere. And like that's very liberating. Like it's like, okay, now I can see it. And now I can do it. I just to have the thing in the back of my mind. You were right. And that's the way I do it too. That's weird.
I'm telling you, it's a woman thing.
It is a woman thing.
But we're trained to do it, not because we naturally can,
I don't know.
Men
about
can do
that.
it too. It's just that they're not expected to do it.
I don't know if my husband can, to be honest. He's a one task guy. I mean, like clearly you have to tell him one thing, let him finish it before you tell him the second one. Otherwise he gets so distracted and he drops what he's doing and then he moves on to the next task. Like, no, finish it. I was just getting you prep for the next task after you're done, washing the dishes.
You sound like you're training somebody.
For 12 years, you guys. I've been married to this man for 12 years. We're still doing it.
I mean, I think it's a matter of like training because Bruno used to live like by himself for such a long time that he's not exactly like that. He can multitask and he's very organized. And I used to live before we got married, like by myself. So when you live alone for a while, you learn to take care of things, I guess. At the same time, you learn to be responsible for yourself. So you have to do the laundry, change the sheets, like clean the house, cook for yourself, like the basic things.
True.
Yeah.
So it's easier to train them when they go through that pre-training.
I love that.
Let's put this way.
Oh my gosh. It's been so fun chatting with you, Anna. Thank you so much. It was definitely a brightness in my day.
Yeah.
Smile and laugh and commiserate.
Thank you, girls. Yeah. It was like, it was great.
Yes. Anytime.
No, thank you so much.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's nice to chat with friends, especially during this time when we can't meet like face to face. We hardly see anybody really. It's really nice to be able to talk to you from across the world and catch up. And it's been too long. I mean, we've all been busy in our own ways. And sometimes you just need to like literally stop and like make the intentionally, I guess, reach out to people.
Yeah.
And why not right now? I think we all need
right now.
that.
We need to do that. I mean, my family is in Brazil, so I'm worried about them. I have doctors in my family, so they're the front line. They got infected. Some of them got hospitalized, but they're doing fine. They're recovering. But I mean, it's heavy to carry those things like by yourself, and sharing with other people helps a lot because we are all in this together, wanted or not. Like, I mean, it's a global thing. We need to think like globally right now.
For sure.
So let's not go down.
Yes. But thank you, Anna. We had a ton of laughter.
I know.
Thank you.
That's really, really nice.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me here.
Yes.
You're welcome.
I wish you could see us right now. We all three of us have big smiles on our face.
That's true.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my God. Thank you, girls. Thank you so much. And take care.
Yes.
Wash your damn hands.
Yes.